I'm Untitled and I'm bringing you this emergency Bitcoin update. Now, this video is incredibly important, so make sure to stick around till the end because the whales are on the move and they are doing something that is quite difficult to understand, but we have to keep it in our minds when we're going to be opening any trades, either short trades or long trades. And also in this video, I'm going to share with you a few interesting metrics that you should pay attention to yourselves as well. And also I'm going to show you my targets and the current situation in a short-term perspective and whether you can be going either long or short, and where I would be personally entertaining such possibilities. So before we get into any of it, please do smash that like button and also share this video with, if you're so inclined, with as many friends and family members as you can, so that we are actually getting this video into the algorithms and so that YouTube knows that this content is important for you guys and for the world to watch. And also please do let me know down in the comments which other cryptocurrencies you would like me to cover, maybe some stocks, etc. And if you have any suggestions for me, please also do let me know down in the comments, and thank you very much in advance. Okay, so let's move right into the Bitcoin price action right here. And what do we see? Well, as of right now, in the last few days, we're slowly moving in a very small short-term uptrend, and we finally have broken above and actually stabilized above this resistance or our previous support in the wedge. So we are finally inside this wedge right here. However, as you might remember in the previous video, and if you haven't watched it, please do watch my previous video, I did warn you about the whale activity, and that what I saw right here was something very important, that every time when there was a spike of whale activity, we would see a sell-off, just like we saw right here. However, whales are doing something interesting as of right now, and the future of Bitcoin, and especially in a super short-term perspective, is going to unfold in the next day or so, or maybe even faster. So this is something that you have to really pay attention to, because as you can see, I was really surprised to see this myself today. When you see this kind of a decline, it's actually a normal slow decline, just like everywhere else in this chart. As we can see, each single decline is pretty much the same, and it's always followed by a certain price action. However, in this instance, today, we see something that hasn't been seen in the last at least 1 year, and that is, look at this drop right here of this whale activity. It's like a switch, switching it off. And right here we can see from almost 90% down to currently 84% of whale activity. So it just plummeted, but the price is still squeezing right here. So it's still consolidating, and it's just basically finding the direction for the next move. So whether this is a manipulation by the whales or what, it's really difficult to say, but I'm really worried about this current sign right here in the whale activity. And also, if we go to, I found some interesting charts that I wanted to share with you, and this is the Bitcoin on-chain divergence chart, and in the red, actually, what you can see, the red dots are the whales and the small fish. So basically, the red dots are symbolizing where whales are becoming more and more active and are actually buying cheaper Bitcoin. And what's the most important in this chart right now is that every time we saw a bottom, we would see a spike in whale activity, them actually buying more and more. And so we did here on the way up. And now finally, we're seeing a lot more of it right here. So I thought that this chart is very interesting for me to share with you guys and girls. And also one more interesting thing that I wanted to share with you that could have some kind of an impact at the current situation. This is one of the charts I came across today and really wanted to make this video ASAP and share this with you. So this basically is the profit and loss versus the market cap. So it's a market cap adjusted profit and loss. And basically right here, this red line, it symbolizes how many Bitcoin transactions are actually in profit. So basically right here, as you can see, we found a huge support at this line right here. And this basically, if I'm going to just explain this in simple layman terms, because I'm trying to make these videos as fast as possible, and that is basically telling us that beyond this level right here, there aren't really that many sellers. So right here, we'll have a lot of transactions in negatives and a lot of holders left and no retailers left to actually sell their Bitcoin or the desire to sell their Bitcoin. So here is this is the pivoting point, so to speak, of where there isn't really much desire to sell Bitcoin, and actually long-term hodlers are dominating these kinds of areas of these green circles. So we're coming really close to this support right here. We certainly can break down through it, but I thought it's very interesting for me to share this chart right here, which is profit and loss adjusted to market cap. So right now we're at this kind of a breaking point, whether we're gonna break down or actually up and bounce off of it, and this could be an indication on of us actually finding a bottom, which could very interestingly coincide with this current drop off in whale activity, which yesterday, again, as I said yesterday, that this was very worrying sign that we could see another drop of going down in Bitcoin. But right now I'm just sitting here and looking at this drop off in the whale activity that could be quite confusing for a lot of you guys and girls. So I decided to put it out there and to put it into the charts as well and explain exactly what would I be looking out for. Because remember, and a lot of you have mentioned this in the comments, that I'm always talking about two scenarios, that either up or down. But in reality, this is trading. This is the world of investing, and anything can change at any given second. I mean, after 5 minutes of me releasing the video, something can change at an instant. That's why I'm trying to make them as fast as possible. And certainly we can swing from bullish, bearish, bullish, and especially if we're doing active trading, day trading, or long-term investing. If we're investing long-term, then we can be switching from bearish to bullish, quite slowly. But if we're doing active trading, scalp trades, etc., then we can be switching from bullish to bearish in the short-term perspective 5 times a day. That's absolutely fine. So that's why I'm trying to make these videos as fast as I can and as often as I possibly can. So, and that's why, yes, basically whenever I'm explaining in the chart saying that there is opportunity for the bulls as well as for the bears, and there is always two scenarios that I'm actually outlining that I personally see, and if one unfolds, then you can actually take it. If the other one unfolds, you can also take it. So it's really up to you. And remember that this is not financial advice, and always do make your own research before you put your own hard-earned money at risk. And always remember that if you want to be trading and you know how to trade properly, and you, for example, are one of my students, link down in the description, then down in the description you'll also find a link to Bybit. I personally have over $250,000 with Bybit, and if you want to be trading with them, no KYC, registration takes like 20 seconds, and after your initial deposit, if you meet the deposit requirements, you can get up to $4,100 of free money for your own trading and use it in your own trading. So this is quite amazing. Use my link down in the description. And also right now, as a limited offer from Bybit, also apply to my link, you'll get up to 30% off on commissions, which will make you save a lot of money. So okay, let's take a look at what's going on in smaller time frames right now. So if you want the longer term perspective, then please watch my previous video where I explained that I will not be going long in a big trade with a lot of money until we at least break out of this wedge in the daily chart of going up and breaking above it. And then also our target would be around 40,500 anyway, because this has been our support, and also 42,000 and 46.52, etc. So all of that is understandable, and I hope that you watched my previous video from the beginning till the end. Now let's take a look at a smaller time frame at the current situation and see what we can find. And here we'll see that we have an interesting formation in the 4-hour chart, especially the most visible one is going to be in the 4-hour chart. And let's take a look at what we can find if we're going to mark it like this. And right now, actually, just as I'm marking this, as we speak, this is an imperfect line, but nonetheless, we have two important points, two important key marked levels, and these are the two that I'm talking about. So we failed currently. It looks like we are failing this key market level right here, which is at about 38,250. So we actually did that. We squeezed it really hard right here, and again, actually, it's evident in the 1-hour chart, especially smaller time frames as well. But we failed it, and right now, as you can see, this candle is the breaking candle, and this is an hourly. Remember, for this to be something that you can take in the hourly or 4-hour chart, and you can trade on Bybit and prepare for these trades by using my link down in the description. This is something that we really want to see this candle close below. Then this will be some kind of a confirmation for us that we could actually be going down to perhaps retest again this diagonal level right here with our target at about 36,500. And also remember that if this key market level is coming from a 4-hour chart, then it's preferable to see us the candle actually close below here. Or if you're a super active day trader, then you could also already have taken this trade at a break and with just a very short stop loss. So, and currently we have about an hour, 30 minutes to see whether it breaks below. And if it does, then actually this could be an interesting shorting opportunity going along with this concept of mine from yesterday in terms of the whale activity. And this is something that I think will decide the direction of Bitcoin currently in a very short-term perspective. And again, we have a bunch of key market levels as we're going to be moving downwards. So this is something that you really have to pay attention to. For example, this one right here is going to be our target because we saw a lot of resistance from it. Then the next one would certainly be this one right here. So we have a lot of volume standing here. If we're going to be going to volume profile, then we're going to see that we have a lot of volume standing in this area, obviously. So these are the things that you really have to pay attention to, and this is a potential for an interesting short trade that could coincide with the whale activity mentioned in the previous video. However, in a longer term perspective, we could be starting to find a bottom right now because, again, the whales are starting to become more and more active for sure. Again, this is all could be just a manipulation, a short squeeze and a long squeeze, etc. So that's why I always use proper risk and money management, and the links to amazing trading education down in the description as always. And the last and probably the most important thing that I really wanted to mention in this video, which is certainly going to be deciding the direction of Bitcoin as well, actually tomorrow, and that is, let me show you this chart right here, which is S&P 500. Unfortunately, we all know that Bitcoin is following S&P 500, and if S&P 500 is going down, then Bitcoin is going to be following it to at least some extent. And right here, if we look at the daily chart, we really know that we have a very strong support right here at 42,800, and we actually, if we go to a smaller time frame, we'll see that we bounced off of it many times, and right now we had this really nice retracement. By the way, those students of mine who are into futures and have learned futures trading from me, I hope that you had really nice gains in this area, just spot on. So this is a very important area right now for S&P 500, and right now it's an important support. It's very strong support, as we can see by the direction of the price. However, look at where we have closed, where we are at right now. We are currently stuck at the key market level, which is 44.20, and this has been, let's go back to the daily chart, you will see that it has been very important. It's more like a floating level, but nonetheless there still is volume standing at it, and this is something that could actually make us bounce off of it. And actually, as the market opens, we could actually see a move downward. And if this is going to be the case, then Bitcoin is going to definitely follow it. But if we're going to break above it and finally go to the next price target, which actually you have to be watching as well, which is 45.30, let's go to the daily chart and quickly take a look at why it's important. As you can see, this confirmation, then we finally broke it here. So it still is a very strong area that we could actually bounce off of going down for sure. Something to really pay attention to say the least. So right now, once the United States stock market opens and S&P 500 starts moving, this is going to have a huge effect on Bitcoin, and we are at a very important crossroad right now in S&P 500 to give us a direction for Bitcoin. So that's something to pay attention to and to know these key market times, so to speak, when S&P 500 actually starts trading. And as always, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please do let me know by commenting down below and by hitting that like button. As always, stay smart and stay rich. See you in the next video. Cheerio.